remember that we are recording this session for educational purposes, and if at any point in the session you get uncomfortable and need me to turn it off, I can. Is everyone?
That's fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. All right, so last time we came in, it was our first time meeting. Y'all kind of told me what was going on, what brought y'all into counseling, and we set up some goals that we want to work on, and we had a homework assignment. Did everybody have a chance to do that?
Well, we took care of what we needed to do, yes.
Okay.
I did not do the assignment.
Okay. All right. Well, the assignment was that you each were going to kind of keep track of maybe daily chores and things around the house that y'all did on a regular basis. So, can you remember anything that you did during the week, even though you didn't do the assignment? Why don't you just think about it and we'll come back to you, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Megan and Jake, what were some of the things that y'all did during the week around the house?
Laundry, the dishes, taking out the trash, cutting the grass.
Yeah, I did the yard work this week, and
I pretty much took care of the house by myself.
Okay. And y'all both work full-time too, is that right? Okay. All right, Justin, so you've had a chance to think about it. Anything you can think of?
I mean, I don't have a lot of time on my hands. You know, I stay pretty busy doing what it is I want to do. So, I mean, it's their house and their chores. I try not to make too many messes here and there. So if they're cleaning something up, it's their stuff to clean.
Okay, so you don't feel as though you contributed to cleaning in any way?
I mean, I clean up after myself as far as, you know, I don't leave. I mean, I don't know, I'm kind of feeling, well, I guess the answer is no.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have homework again at the end of this assignment, and maybe you can try to do it this week. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I want to talk today about the hierarchy or the structure of y'all's house. So, Justin, how much younger are you than Jake?
2 years.
2 years. Okay. So y'all grew up fairly close then in age, correct? Okay. So how are things at home with your parents? Jake, I'll let you answer that.
that's, I guess it could be better. He's, you know, he kind of causes problems, kind of mooches off of them a little bit.
How do I cause problems?
It would help if you, you know, kind of took care of yourself a little bit.
I mean, I'm kind of in a hard situation right now without a job, you know.
And we all have hard situations. And you still have obligations outside of those, though.
So I'm living with. I mean, I just don't understand how it's my fault. I don't understand how other people's problems are coming back to me.
Let me stop you right there. What about whenever y'all were in high school, for instance? Like, let's say, Jake, let's just say your senior year. How was that? Did y'all get along? Or was there turmoil then? Or how was y'all's relationship?
Well, I guess we weren't really into the same things. He kind of did his own thing. We didn't really go through things together, so we were more, you know, separated through high school as far as our activities and stuff outside of just, you know, class and stuff. And we didn't have any classes together or anything like that because we were 2 years apart.
Okay. Was that experience similar for you? As far as y'all's relationship, you weren't very close, or you have a different view of that?
I mean, I wouldn't say we weren't close. I mean, we lived together. We're brothers. I mean, he's a senior. I was a sophomore. I mean, a lot of times that's enough difference where you don't necessarily run with the same crowds. Obviously, I mean, I'm 2 years younger than him. Hopefully he won't be taking the same classes as me. So, I mean, it's just kind of the way it was. I didn't think there was a bad dynamic. I mean, if there was, I was oblivious to it. So
I don't think that there was an issue with the way it was.
Okay, so maybe the friction didn't start until you moved in. Is that more?
Might be safer to say that.
Okay. Okay. So whenever you moved into Jake and Megan's house, you were employed, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then what happened?
I felt as though my job was taking advantage of me, and I wasn't getting the hours I needed, or I didn't feel as though I was getting compensated correctly for the work I was doing when I was there, and so it just happened to be at the same time where, I won't say exactly the same time, but pretty close to the time that I moved in, I decided to step down from my job because it wasn't worth it.
Okay. So you're not able to contribute financially at all?
Not at
Right
this
now?
time.
Okay.
No.
Okay. What I want to look at is the structure of the household right now. So whenever y'all were in high school and you lived under your parents' house, your parents, if you can picture a pyramid, they'd be at the top of the pyramid, right? They were the ones in charge. They were the ones who worked and provided for y'all. And then y'all would fall under that, right? So anytime, let's say if there was a discipline issue, your parents would discipline you. You wouldn't be the one to discipline your brother. Your mom or dad would, right? Okay. Well, now the dynamic's a little different because you're not living with a parent per se, you're living with a sibling. So that's when things can become a little tricky. So, the issue of discipline isn't there because let's say if Jake were to try and discipline you, how would you react?
I'd probably laugh
Okay.
and walk off because that's ridiculous.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a grown man, and I don't need someone to discipline me.
Okay. I don't know if, laughing would be the correct course of action. But my point I was trying to make is that it would be inappropriate for your older brother to discipline you.
Absolutely.
Okay. So the discipline part isn't going to be there. However, there is still a structure. Jake and Megan, they're married, they're a couple, and they own their home, correct? Yes. Okay. And you are living under their roof, correct?
Yes, they've been kind enough to let me stay there.
Okay. All right. So basically the structure of y'all's family is, even though there's no discipline taking place, Megan and Jake are going to be at the top of this pyramid, okay? And then you would fall under them because you are living under their household. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I understand that. I understand.
Okay. All right. The reason I'm bringing this up is because, I'm sure you understand that, it takes certain things for a household to run smoothly. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. So for them to let you live there, you're the one who said it's very nice of them to let you live there during this time. So that's why I was kind of hoping that you would do your homework assignment and maybe pitch in a little bit more around the house as far as chores. They both work full time, and right now you're not working.
I didn't know that the homework assignment was to do their work for them. I didn't know that the homework assignment was to do their work for them. I thought it was to write down what we did around the house.
Well, no, it's not doing their work for them. It was just helping. If Megan or Jake were to make dinner, you say, well, you know what, y'all made dinner, so I'll clean the dishes, or I'll do my own laundry.
I'm not the one that decided to make dinner.
Okay, but you willingly ate dinner?
They offered it.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that at the end when we talk about our next homework assignment, because that's going to come back into play. Okay? What I want to do now is something called an enactment. Do any of y'all know what that is?
No, I don't think I know what an enactment is.
Okay, an enactment. So tell me about a recent argument that you have had.
Well, the other day, I had bought some food to prepare lunch for work instead of buying lunch every day that I went out to work, trying to save a little bit of money. And I guess Justin got hungry and he ate the food that I bought for work. I asked him not to take it, but I guess he got hungry.
Well, yeah, I mean, I am at home, and I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to eat in the fridge, and that was there. And I mean, you had said that it was for your lunch, but I mean, I didn't know that it was all for your lunch.
Okay, let me stop right there. I want y'all, I don't think it probably went as smoothly as it went in here just now, the argument. So, I would like y'all to try and reenact this argument. Just,
Like we did then?
yes. I mean, if it's anything physical, I'd like you to, refrain from doing that.
Or language?
I want you to be completely honest, and I'll stop you if I think it's getting too out of hand, and we'll talk about it when y'all are done. When I feel like we've reached the point where we can have some discussion. But I know it's hard. I know it probably feels like you're reopening, a wound. But this is important. This is how we can, learn from our mistakes and move on from them. So, whenever you're ready.
Well, I guess I'll start by saying that, I found out in the morning before I was going to go to work, and opened the fridge, and there's nothing in there that I need for my lunch. And I'm a little upset at this point.
He just barged in my room.
And you were asleep.
Okay, it was morning time. I mean, it was like 6:30. I didn't know I was supposed to be awake at 6:30 in the morning for, your giggles.
Well, I told him I was very upset that he went through and ate my lunch. I may have called him a pig. I'm not.
Really,
okay,
a
I did.
pig?
I called him a pig.
That's very G-rated.
Well,
I mean, just to be real.
Okay, then Justin, you don't be. I mean, if you don't feel so, you can.
I mean, every time I do anything around the house, I mean, something as small as eating something, it's like I said before, they were kind enough to let me stay at their house, but it's like, oh, well, you're here, so don't eat anything, don't use anything, or I'm a freeloader and a loafer, and I'm just, good for nothing and a piece of crap and stuff. And it's just, I mean, that's not how it is. And it's offensive. I'm supposed to be awake at 6:30 in the morning just because you have to be at work at 6:30 in the morning. What if I did have a job and it started at 10? I'm still supposed to be up at 6:30 in the morning to make you feel good about yourself that you're getting up before me to go to work?
I didn't say that.
I mean, it's just how I feel. I mean, y'all constantly attacking me like I do nothing, and I mean, that's part of the reason why maybe I don't do anything is because y'all already blame me for like I don't do anything.
Well, do you feel that that you were wrong for doing that? And do you feel that maybe you should try to replace what you take?
Okay, I was hungry. Your body says to eat. I ate. It was late at night. You had to be at work the next morning. Am I supposed to? Because let's just put it out there. I don't have a job, so how am I supposed to pay for gas? I can't. So then, if I borrowed your car, you'd have been pissed about that. I used your car to go down to Walmart to get more food for you. I probably would have had to, find some money around here to go buy something. So you would have been pissed about that too. So it's adding stuff on top of stuff and just multiplying it to where, okay, do I eat and just let it go and let Jake be mad about the fact that I had a sandwich? Or do I try and remedy that and make him even more mad by the fact that I used more of his resources to replace the sandwich?
Yeah. Well, I think communicating to me and asking, hey, I'm gonna this food's in here. Maybe you ask me before you do it. I can see that being the least that you can do.
And let me stop y'all right there. What if Jake? What if Justin had came to you last night and told you, I ate the sandwiches in the refrigerator, and he told you before you went to bed that night? Would it have been as big of a deal at that point when you weren't trying to hurry and rush for work? And maybe y'all could have discussed it in a manner where, in the mornings you're frazzled, you're trying to get out the door.
I think that if he would have, it's not like that was the only thing there to eat, and that's convenient for me to take with me. Whereas some of the other foods that we have are there for him to use.
You're right. I maliciously took your sandwiches so that you'd get up and see that your sandwiches weren't there, and we could have an argument before you went to work. That's exactly what I did.
I didn't accuse you of that either.
Not right now.
Okay. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a little role playing, and what I would like you to do, Justin, I want you to be Jake.
Okay.
Okay, and Jake, I want you to be Justin.
I think I
Okay.
can do that.
All right. And Megan, I want you to kind of keep them accountable. You know, if you think that they're not being honest, kind of step in and say, well, I think you would have said this. Okay. So we're going to replay this argument. So you're going to be Justin. You're going to go and eat the sandwiches. You're going to be Jake, and you're going to get up the next morning. You've gotten up really early. You're getting ready for work. You're running late. You open the refrigerator, grab your lunch. It's not there. Okay, and I want y'all to have this conversation and talk to each other like you were the other person. Okay? All right, you can go.
Oh man, I'm running late for work. Per usual. Open the fridge. My good for nothing brother ate my stuff. Alright, slam. And I go to his room. Hey, Justin,
What?
why did you eat my stuff for lunch, man?
What?
You know that I've got to get to work.
What are you talking about?
You know the bed that you're sleeping in, the roof over your head. Yeah, you know who provides that? I do. So I've got to get to work.
What do you want me to do?
Well, I guess nothing now. You already ate it, so I guess just have your fill.
Well, I had to eat something. God, what is your problem?
My problem is that I'm trying to keep the roof over our head.
Yeah, well, I was hungry. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah. I'll say that line like where I'm trying to keep a roof over our head.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep a roof over our head.
Yeah, well, I was just hungry. I just ate what I needed to.
I guess I understand where it's coming from.
Okay. What made you come to that realization?
Well, I mean, he's out there working, and he's doing more for me than I guess what I'm doing for myself right at the moment.
So you maybe understand why Jake would be upset about you eating the meal he's packed for work.
Yeah, I do understand, and it's not that I've never not understood. It's just that I've grown kind of callous to it because I feel like they try and make me feel like I'm a deadbeat.
Okay. Jake, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, it's not that you're a deadbeat. There are some deadbeat attributes, but it doesn't make you a deadbeat. For instance, I would never have suggested you quit a job right after you move in. It makes it very difficult to help out. Me and Megan, we're happy to help you, but there has to be some kind of guidelines that we got to go by, some kind of plan to get you back where you need to be. I mean, and it's a financial burden to pay for 3 people. I at least hope that you understand that not that you are a burden, but when you help take stress off of us. When you don't, you add stress, and we just want to see a plan to fix that.
I guess I just wish that it had been vocalized that way sooner, as opposed to, I'm not dumb. I mean, I know that y'all sit there and probably like, oh my gosh, there's going to be a lot of stress on us, and I may start it off that way, just thinking, oh, there's going to be a lot of stress on us because we're trying to help him out. I know the fact of the matter is that y'all probably are sitting there, talking about me and everything else. I mean, it's hard for me to sit there and think, oh, how is this affecting Jake and Megan, when all I think is that y'all are probably, in ways making fun of me. And I know that I, probably should not have quit my job, but I also wasn't expecting to be out of work this long either.
Well, in no way were we trying to make fun of you. or when we talk, it's more about what are we going to do? You know, when there's these stresses and things that's put on us, we have to, you know, address them at some point. And all we would really like to see is kind of a plan. I mean, I know you want to get back to work, but you know, we do feel there may be a little bit more that you can do. Maybe there's some other options that we can look at.
Okay. Our last session, you had said that your ultimate goal is to get back into school. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I assume that by saying you're going to get back into school, you mean you'll live in a dorm type setting or on campus somewhere? So you'll have housing?
Hopefully.
Okay. Is part of getting back into school having a job? Is that necessary to get back into school?
It would make things much easier.
Okay. So as far as a plan goes, I would say that's probably our first step. Are we doing any job hunting at the current moment? As far as you know, you're home during the day.
Well, I guess if you can find a job playing Call of Duty, then I guess you might be a little closer to that. Okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have put it like that. I apologize. That was a little abrupt.
After a certain amount of time where, you know, you don't get any calls back, it's kind of discouraging looking for a job, and you just kind of, you get complacent in the things that you're already doing. So to answer that question, I guess the overall answer would be no. I'm probably not doing as much as I should to find a job.
Okay. So could we all be in agreement that maybe that's something Megan and Jake maybe could even help you with? You know, they're both working full time, so they have sources right now that they could help you find employment. Do you think that any of those avenues are a possibility?
That's a question you have to ask them about. I mean, I don't know whether their job's hiring.
Well, there's some possibilities. My question would be is how many applications, resumes have you put out there? I mean, you've been looking for what, 2-3 weeks now?
The job search, it's very stressful and it can be very discouraging as far as that goes. I think everybody in this room has been there at one time or another. So I don't want you to feel as though, you know, we're minimizing your feelings as far as that goes. We understand it can be upsetting and stressful, but, you know, your main goal is to get back into school so that one day you can have your dream job. But, you know, in the process of, you may not have your dream job starting off. I mean, most people don't. So, I mean, have you tried to apply at some
I
of
don't
the
want a
local...
dream job. I just want a job that's not going to suck.
Okay. What is one thing you will not do? Is it like food service or retail or?
I don't feel as though that food service is worth. I mean, that's what I was doing before. Was, you know, you got to be buddy with somebody to make sure you get the hours that you want. Or, I mean, because look at it, I want to go back to school, so I can't necessarily work the breakfast or lunch shift or something like that, or even one of those days. I mean, I don't know when my classes are going to be, and so that's something that just kind of I don't think will really suit. Plus, it's always minimum wage. If you're a waiter, it's even less. You know, you got to work off tips. Obviously, I'm not the most personable person in the world, so I don't think that being a waiter might, you know, lend to myself making a large amount of money. So no, I don't really want to work in food service.
Okay, that's totally fine. I mean, not everybody is cut out for that kind of position, but maybe a retail position. You know, they have stock positions available where you're not really dealing with customers. You know, you're working early in the morning or late at night.
Factories are hiring.
Factories around here are hiring.
But once again, I mean, you're talking. I mean, I also, if I'm going to school and I'm doing 18 hours a week at the school, am I going to have 9 hours a day to be at a factory?
It depends on when you take classes and stuff. It's just about, you know, figuring out what kind of schedule that you'd like to work.
And most places in a college town are going to be more flexible, work with you as far as your schedule goes. And I will say, you know, it's starting to be the end of a semester right now. So you have a few more months before a new semester would start. So technically you could start a job and maybe even work full time until school and save some of that money. Is that a possibility?
If I can find a job, I mean.
Okay.
Also, something you got to think about is there's going to be a lot of so I just want to be realistic with everybody. With being in this semester, us living in a college town, there's going to be an influx of people that are looking for work too. So I mean, the job, we're in a recession. I mean, it's just everything. I don't know. I just feel like everything's pointing towards maybe not getting there. I do want to help. It helped walking through his point of view, and I understand that. Y'all need help if I'm going to be there, but I also don't want to walk out of this room and then y'all magically think that, oh, Justin's going to have a job tomorrow. I mean, that may not be the way it happens.
That's an unreal expectation to say that you're going to have a job tomorrow. But it is a reasonable expectation that you can go look, and we can every day, you can spend a few hours, just about every day looking and talking to different people. There's all kinds of opportunities.
Well, I understand that, but
well, let's set a goal before we leave here today for next week. What I would like you to do is every day for this next week is apply to at least 2 different places. Can you do that? Most
every
places,
day, 2 days.
Every day, 2 places you apply to online, or whether it be you go to the actual place. You submit a resume or application.
I can do that in between my Call of Duty sessions. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. What I need you to do is bring in the applications for our next session, okay? Because I want you to see that, you are putting in the effort. I want Jake and Megan to see that you are putting in the effort, and I think it'll help everyone see that, you are trying to find employment. But, you're right, it doesn't just happen overnight, and it is a frustrating process. But also realize that, 1 or 2 applications a week isn't very realistic as far as a job hunt goes. Okay, so is that something you think you can do for this next week? Is every day fill out 2 applications, whether it be online or in person, and just somehow bring some kind of proof, whether you take a picture on your phone or you print it out on the computer.
Am I allowed to print something out on the computer? Going to complain about the ink?
I think we'll pass on this one. We'll be okay with it for now.
Okay. Second homework assignment. Last week, I wanted everybody to kind of, make a list of what they were doing around the house, things to help out. This week, what I'd like y'all to do is, Megan, I want you to keep track of what Jake and Justin have done around the house. Okay? Jake, I want you to keep track of what Megan and Justin have done around the house. And Justin, I want you to keep track of what Megan and Jake have done around the house. So basically, you're not keeping track of what you've done, but what you're kind of paying attention to what other people are doing around the house. Is that something y'all think y'all can keep track of?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So basically, to end the session, I just kind of want to review. We talked about how that each, we have a hierarchy that we follow, and in this situation, there's no parents living in y'all's home, but it is Megan and Jake's home. So while, Jake maybe doesn't need to discipline you or maybe tell you what to do, you will need to respect maybe what the rules that Megan and Jake have laid down for their home, and maybe help contribute to chores and the running of their home. Is that something we can agree on, that we can all pitch in?
Yeah.
Okay. What's one thing you think you can help, at least this week? One thing that you can do around the house to help?
I just want to say this. I've never said, hey, Megan, do my laundry. So just let me do my laundry and I'll do my laundry.
Okay, now that means you actually have to do it. You can't just leave it and let it pile up. So that means you have to do it at least once a week. Is that something you're okay with?
I will say I'm a guy. I mean, if I don't run out of clothes, I'm not, I don't really do the laundry unless I run out of clothes. But yeah, I'll try and do that so it's not an eyesore to where Megan feels as though she has to do it.
All right, and then we kind of talked about how maybe we shouldn't, if Jake is preparing something for work kind of understand that this is something that's his, and either ask beforehand whether it's food or something like that, or maybe tell him.
Technically, everything is his, so, I mean, do I have to ask for every time I use something?
Well, no, some of the stuff there, he knows. He knows he can have.
I mean, do you know?
If it's something else, just ask me, you know, but, or we can, you know, we can talk a little bit about it, but, I thought we were on the same page, maybe not.
I'll try not to eat your sandwiches.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, and then for this next week, Justin, you're gonna fill out some job applications and just bring that proof with us to the next session. And then we're all gonna kind of keep track of what other people are doing around the house. And this homework assignment is not necessarily to compare and say, well, you know, Megan does everything around the house. It's more so that where we can be more aware of what other people are doing. Okay, so it's a positive homework assignment. All right, it's not one to cause more friction. Okay. All right. So I will see all of you next week.